Right. Just continuing the story about the my friend being found not guilty on these charges. One thing he did describe to me was the efforts of the police when they questioned him, because he was actually arrested. Now, uh, what may happen, you have a couple of options when the police come in, take an interest in you and want to question you. You may just be asked to go in for a chat with the police, or you may be arrested and then you don't have the option to just stand up and walk away. If you're just in there on a voluntary basis and they say, well, I'd like you to answer these questions, you've got pretty much every right to stand up and say, well, I don't want to be here, and you then that you force the police to either arrest you or to or let you go, basically. And if you haven't been arrested and they grab hold of you, then you obviously have a bit of a case for assault or whatever. But if you've been arrested, then that's a different story altogether. You don't you are actually in the custody of the police. So, but what they do is that they will try and convince you that you are just there to clear something up or to clarify certain points, or just we only want to hear your side of the story. All these little phrases that may be used, and but in reality, there's about quite a great chance that they have already made their mind up, and the only reason you are there is to give them an opportunity to put certain things to you, to basically to clarify for them, not for you, to basically trick you into admitting something that you may not necessarily want to admit, or your words will be twisted to suit the story that the prosecution or the police want to present. Now, in Australia we have very few rights. One of those rights is that you do not have to say anything, and that is what I suggest you do. If you're ever in this situation, give your name and address, because the police already know that. That's not a big drama. The thing is that they know your name and address, they know your date of birth, so give it to them. After that, if you want to, make a very short statement saying pretty much, I have done nothing wrong, I deny all allegations that you may make against me, and then you shut up. You do not say, I do not wish to answer any questions every time you ask a question. You do not say no comment every time they ask you a question. You just stay completely and utterly silent. Silence is the enemy of the investigating police officer, because they rely on you to say something, because they would have planned that interview, and the interview is not based on you not saying anything. The interview is based on, if he says yes to a question, this is what we then go on to. There's a thing, when you're being questioned, you'll find that there are, what you're trying to ascertain is how, when, where, why and who. That's what happened. How did something happen? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? Who were you with? And it just goes on and on and on. And you can spend hours, literally hours, interviewing people just going on that. Every time they say something, it opens up another avenue. So don't say anything. You don't have to, so don't. In my friend's case, when he was interviewed, he said no comment, and afterwards when I spoke to him, he said, I regret even opening my mouth, because he realised then that it gave them an opening to say things, which is exactly what happened during the trial. Even the fact that they said to him, oh, you didn't look surprised when we said, we told you of certain allegations. And so that's it, because he did or didn't show surprise for certain things, that became an issue. But then you just can't say, well, I didn't do that, because you're in court, and you have to say, well, I was surprised, I wasn't surprised, because you then find yourself in the difficult position of trying to justify why you did or didn't look surprised at something. And that's not, you didn't even look surprised. They just put that to you, but then you had to answer it in court. And you may even be ordered to answer it, who knows. So say nothing. And if you have the opportunity, put your head down on the table, put your finger between your teeth, and just leave it there. So just consciously make a decision that you will not take your finger out of your mouth until you're charged or released. And so it makes it very difficult for the police to do that. So as I said, nothing the police do in a serious interview is accidental. It's all planned. A good policeman will get what they want out of you, because that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to be your friend, and if they were honest about that, it wouldn't be a problem. The thing is, they are not your friend. They are trying to get you to admit something or to slip up by saying the wrong thing, and so that and a lot of the time people have done nothing wrong, but the police are not necessarily trying to get to the truth. They're trying to come to a conclusion, and most of the time they want to arrest someone. They're not really interested in people being innocent or whatever. They've got figures to meet, targets to reach, pressure from their bosses, pressure from politicians, pressure from everyone, and so they don't really care about your future. They don't care that they might ruin your life and have your wife leave you, that you lose your house or anything like that. That's not their concern. Their concern is to get you convicted. It's not their job. It is certainly not their job. Their job is to investigate. It's prevention, detection, investigation, prosecution. That is the job of the police. And they go, a lot of the time they jump straight to vindictive prosecution. So, as I said, it's a lot easier for you to simply shut up, say nothing, and let the dice roll where they may. After that, if the police try and force you to say something, and quite often you may be in a position where they don't let you see a solicitor, which is for some weird reason they seem to be able to do that, and or they keep shifting you around so no one can find out where you are. All these little sneaky things that happen. So anyway, that's my advice: is just basically keep quiet and see what happens. Hopefully it'll work out, especially if you're being questioned over something you've got no knowledge of, and all I can say is good luck, and just remember, it's one of the few rights that we have, and until the day comes that we have a proper constitution that protects people, or a Bill of Rights, you're pretty well left with silence. Silence is your friend. Thank you very much.